The roar of a Lamborghini V12 engine shatters the morning silence as we begin our journey through the brand's speed evolution, starting with the iconic 1966 Miura P400, the car that invented the supercar concept. This revolutionary machine, with its transversely mounted 3.9-liter V12 producing 350 horsepower, redefined what a production car could achieve, hitting 171 miles per hour when most sports cars struggled to reach 140. The Miura's sleek, low-slung body, designed by Marcello Gandini at Bertone, wasn't just beautiful, it was functional, cutting through the air with minimal resistance despite lacking modern aerodynamic aids. Slide into the cramped cockpit and you're immediately struck by how raw everything feels. The thin-rimmed steering wheel transmits every bump directly to your hands. The unassisted brakes require serious leg effort. And the engine sits just inches behind your head, its mechanical symphony uninterrupted by sound deadening. What made the Miura truly groundbreaking was its packaging. By mounting the engine transversely and placing it amidships, Lamborghini created a template every supercar manufacturer would later copy. On the road, the Miura feels alive in ways modern supercars can't replicate. The chassis flexes noticeably over bumps, the steering demands constant correction at speed, and the engine requires careful management to avoid overheating. Yet when everything clicks, when that glorious V12 hits its power band and the tachometer sweeps towards 7,000 RPM, you understand why this car shocked the automotive world. The Miura's legacy isn't just about its top speed, it's about how it combines stunning design with unprecedented performance, creating a new category of automobile that would define Lamborghini for decades to come. Today, when a well-preserved Miura appears at events like Pebble Beach, crowds gather not just to admire its beauty, but to hear that unmistakable V12 wail, a sound that still raises goosebumps nearly 60 years later. As we begin our speed comparison, remember that every modern Lamborghini owes its existence to this groundbreaking machine, the car that proved Lamborghini could out-innovate Ferrari on its first attempt. The Miura 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 6.7 seconds may seem sluggish by today's standards, but in context, it was faster than most race cars of its era, and its top speed made it the fastest production car in the world upon its release. What's often overlooked is how challenging the Miura was to drive at its limits. The rear suspension design made it prone to sudden oversteer, the brakes faded quickly under hard use, and the cabin became unbearably hot on long drives. These weren't flaws so much as trade-offs for pushing boundaries, something Lamborghini would continue doing with every subsequent model. As a first production V12 mid-engine car, the Miura set the DNA for everything that followed. The Countach's outrageous styling, the Diablo's brute force, and the Aventador's technological tour de force all trace their lineage back to this revolutionary machine. When Ferruccio Lamborghini greenlit the Miura project, he wasn't just creating a car, he was establishing a philosophy that would define the brand. Beauty married to brutal performance, wrapped in packaging that shocked conventional wisdom. As we move forward in our speed evolution comparison, we'll see how each generation of Lamborghini built upon this foundation, pushing boundaries further while staying true to that original vision of creating the most exciting cars on the road. The Miura's value today, often exceeding $3 million for pristine examples, reflects not just its rarity, but its status as the genesis point for the entire supercar genre. Modern collectors prize originality above all else. The correct shade of orange paint, the right pattern of seat stitching, even the proper font on the gauges can mean six-figure differences in value. Driving a Miura today is like handling a priceless work of art that could bite back, its quirks and flaws only adding to the experience rather than detracting from it. As we transition to our next chapter in Lamborghini's speed evolution, remember that without the Miura's daring innovation, none of the record-breaking machines that followed would exist. It's the foundation upon which Lamborghini built its legend of speed. Section 2. The 1974 Lamborghini Countach LP400 Periscopo erupts onto our timeline with a dramatic scissor door entrance, its wedge-shaped silhouette looking like it drove straight out of a science fiction movie, which in many ways it did. This second chapter in Lamborghini's speed evolution introduces us to the car that defined supercar styling for a generation, with its 3.9-liter V12 now producing 375 horsepower and propelling the car to 182 miles per hour, making it the fastest production car in the world upon its debut. The Periscopo nickname comes from its ingenious periscope-style rear-view mirror, a solution to the Countach's terrible rear visibility created by its massive rear haunches and tiny rear window. Slide into the cockpit, a process that requires acrobatics thanks to those wide sills and upward opening doors. And you're greeted by an interior that's shockingly Spartan thin bucket seats, a steering wheel with no power assist, and a gear shift that requires serious muscle to operate. What made the Countach revolutionary wasn't just its speed, but its styling. Marcello Gandini's radical wedge design, with its Naka duct air intakes, rectangular wheel arches, and those iconic scissor doors, became the blueprint for every supercar that followed. On the road, the LP400 is surprisingly more manageable than later Countach models. Its narrower body and lack of massive wings make it easier to place, though visibility remains terrible in all directions. The V12, now fed by 6 Weber carburetors, delivers power in a linear surge rather than the explosive punch of modern supercars, building toward a 7,500 RPM crescendo that sounds like a mechanical symphony. The Countach's chassis feels stiff by 1970 standards, though flex is still apparent during hard cornering. And the unassisted steering provides remarkable feedback once you get used to the effort required at low speeds. What's often forgotten is how advanced the Countach was for its time. It featured a fully independent suspension, a 5-speed manual transmission mounted ahead of the rear axle for better weight distribution, and ventilated disc brakes at all 4 corners. The LP400's purity of design makes the most sought-after Countach today, with values exceeding $2 million for pristine examples. Later models with wider bodies and bigger wings may look more dramatic, but lack the original's elegant proportions. Driving a Countach today is an exercise in sensory overload. The engine heat soaks the cabin within minutes, the pedals are offset awkwardly to the right, and the turning circle rivals that of a city bus. Yet none of this matters when you nail the throttle on an open highway. The V12 screaming behind your head as the angular world blurs past your peripheral vision. The Countach's legacy extends far beyond its performance numbers. It became a cultural icon, appearing on bedroom posters worldwide and cementing Lamborghini's reputation as the maker of the most outrageous cars on the planet. As we analyze its place in Lamborghini's speed evolution, the Countach represents the moment the brand fully embraced its role as Ferrari's rebellious younger sibling. Where Ferrari pursued racing pedigree, Lamborghini went for pure, unadulterated theater. The LP400 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 5.4 seconds may not impress today's enthusiasts, but in context, it was nearly 2 seconds quicker than a contemporary Corvette, and its top speed was unmatched by anything from Maranello at the time. Modern restorers have discovered fascinating details about early Countach construction. The hand-formed aluminum body panels vary in thickness. The welding was done entirely by hand, and no 2 examples are exactly alike. As we transition to our next speed milestone, remember that the Countach took the Miura's mid-engine template and amplified every extreme, lower, wider, and more outrageous in every dimension. This willingness to push boundaries at the expense of practicality would become Lamborghini's trademark, setting the stage for even more extreme machines to come. The Countach's impact on automotive design can't be overstated. Its influence appears in everything from the DeLorean DMC-12 to modern hypercars, proving that sometimes the most important innovations aren't under the hood, but in the shape of the sheet metal. As we move forward in our 3D speed comparison, we'll see how Lamborghini built upon the Countach's legacy while addressing its flaws, creating faster but more civilized machines that retain that essential Lamborghini drama. The 1990 Lamborghini Diablo VD roars into our speed evolution with a ferocity that shook the supercar world. Its 5.7-liter V12 now pumping out 492 horsepower, enough to smash through the 200 miles per hour barrier for the first time in Lamborghini history. This third chapter in our comparison introduces all-wheel drive to the Lamborghini lineage, the VT viscous traction system transforming the Diablo from a tail-happy beast into a more controllable, though still terrifying speed machine. The Diablo's design, penned by Marcello Gandini but controversially modified by Chrysler's designers, retains the Countach's wedge profile but adds curves that make it look like a stealth bomber made street legal. Drop into the cockpit, a slightly less acrobatic process than the Countach thanks to conventional doors. And you're greeted by 1990s luxury touches, power windows, actual carpeting, and leather seats that don't feel like park benches. What makes the Diablo special in our speed comparison isn't just its 202 miles per hour top speed. It's how accessible that performance feels compared to its predecessors. The power steering, a first for Lamborghini, makes parking manageable. The clutch pedal doesn't require bodybuilder calves, and the ventilation system actually keeps the cabin bearable on the road. The Diablo VT feels simultaneously more civilized and more dangerous than the numbers suggest. The all-wheel drive provides reassuring grip, but when it does let go, it happens suddenly and violently. The V12's torque curve is brutal, with peak power arriving at just 6,800 RPM, meaning you don't need to wring it out to make progress. The Diablo's party trick is its soundtrack. At low revs, it growls like an angry lion, but past 5,000 RPM, it transforms into a metallic shriek that echoes off canyon walls. Modern collectors prize the early VT models for their purity, before Lamborghini added traction control and other electronic nannies that diluted the raw experience. The Diablo's construction showcases Lamborghini's transition from pure artisanship to more modern techniques. The steel space frame uses some carbon fiber reinforcement. The body panels are fiberglass rather than aluminum, and the electrical system, while still temperamental, represents a quantum leap over the Countach's primitive setup. What often gets overlooked about the Diablo is how it democratized supercar performance. Where the Countach was nearly undrivable at low speeds, the Diablo could actually be used daily if you were brave enough. The VT's all-wheel drive system, developed in partnership with Sterpuk, normally sends 70% of power to the rear wheels, but can transfer up to 40% forward when slip is detected. A revolutionary feature in 1990 that's now standard on every Lamborghini. On track, the Diablo feels its age. The heavy steering becomes exhausting during long sessions. The brakes fade quickly, and the gearing is so long that you'll rarely use fifth or sixth gear outside of German autobahns. Yet these flaws only enhance its character. This is a machine that demands respect and skill, rewarding drivers willing to learn its quirks. The Diablo's place in our speed evolution is particularly fascinating when viewed through modern eyes. Its 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 4.1 seconds is matched by today's sports sedans, yet the experience feels infinitely more special. The way the analog speedometer needle sweeps toward its 210 miles per hour indication, optimistic, but close enough. How the engine heat makes the rear window ripple like a funhouse mirror at speed, and the sheer drama of its scissor doors opening in a crowded parking lot. These are elements no spec sheet can capture. As values for well-preserved Diablos climb past $500,000, collectors have discovered these early VT models represent the perfect balance between old-school rawness and modern usability. The 2001 Lamborghini Murcielago erupts into our speed comparison with a new millennium's worth of technological advancements. Its 6.2-liter V12 now producing 572 horsepower and propelling Lamborghini firmly into the 200-plus mph club. This fourth evolution in our timeline represents the first Lamborghini developed entirely under Audi ownership, blending German precision with Italian passion in a package that could hit 205 miles per hour, while actually being comfortable. The Murcielago's name continues Lamborghini's tradition of bullfighting references, named after a famous bull that survived 24 sword strokes, and its design, while clearly evolving from the Diablo, introduces aerodynamic tricks like active rear air intakes and a deployable rear wing. Slide into the cockpit, now with actual headroom thanks to a taller roof, and you'll notice the Audi influence. The switchgear feels substantial, the air conditioning works properly, and the stereo doesn't sound like a tin can. What makes the Murcielago special in our speed evolution isn't just its numbers, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.6 seconds, but how it delivers them. The all-wheel drive system is more sophisticated. The 6-speed manual transmission, later replaced by a paddle shift option, is smoother, and the chassis exhibits none of the flex that plagued earlier Lamborghinis. On the road, the Murcielago feels like a proper grand tourer when you want it to. The suspension soaks up bumps surprisingly well. The visibility is almost good by supercar standards, and the engine doesn't overheat in traffic. But when you select first gear and floor it, all civility disappears. The V12 behind your head bellows with apocalyptic fury. The all-wheel drive hooks up with barely a chirp from the tires, and the horizon rushes toward you with terrifying urgency. The Murcielago's party piece is its stability at speed, where the Diablo felt nervous above 170 miles per hour. The Murcielago remains rock solid at its 205 miles per hour top speed, thanks to extensive wind tunnel development. Modern collectors particularly prize the early 6.2-liter manual transmission models. Their raw, mechanical feel represents the end of an era before automation took over. The Murcielago also introduced Lamborghini's first modern traction control system, a necessary addition given its prodigious power output. On track, the Murcielago reveals its weight at 3,650 pounds. It's significantly heavier than the Diablo, but makes up for it with incredible mechanical grip from the all-wheel drive system. What's often forgotten about the Murcielago is how it saved Lamborghini. The Diablo's aging design and questionable build quality had left the company struggling, and Audi's investment, without overly Germanizing the product, gave Lamborghini the resources to compete with Ferrari again. The Murcielago's construction showcases this transition. The space frame uses aluminum and carbon fiber. The body panels are precisely fitted, and the electrical system actually works reliably. As we analyze its place in our speed comparison, the Murcielago represents the moment Lamborghini grew up without losing its wild side. It could compete with the best from Maranello while still looking like it belonged on a Miami Vice reboot. Section 5. The 2011 Lamborghini Aventador LP700-4 explodes into our speed timeline with a space-age carbon fiber monocoque and a 6.5-liter V12 producing 700 horsepower. Enough to hit 217 miles per hour while demolishing 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.9 seconds. This fifth evolution in our comparison represents Lamborghini fully embracing modern technology while retaining its signature drama. The Aventador's scissor doors opening to reveal a cockpit that looks like a fighter jet's. The single-clutch 7-speed transmission snaps off shifts with brutal efficiency, while the all-wheel drive system can send up to 60% of power to the front wheels when needed. What makes the Aventador special isn't just its speed. It's how accessible that performance feels compared to earlier Lamborghinis. The magnetic suspension smooths out rough roads. The interior actually has storage compartments, and the navigation system, while still finicky, means you might actually arrive at your destination without getting lost. On the road, the Aventador feels simultaneously more civilized and more savage than anything before it. The V12 delivers torque from idle to redline with no turbo lag. The carbon ceramic brakes inspire absolute confidence, and the steering provides perfect feedback without being overly heavy. The Aventador's party trick is its theatrical presentation. Starting the engine triggers a dramatic system check, where the digital gauges perform a synchronized dance. The exhaust valves open with a thunderous roar at 4,500 RPM, and the optional transparent engine cover showcases the V12 like a piece of mechanical art. Modern collectors are already recognizing the Aventador's place in history as potentially the last pure, naturally aspirated V12 Lamborghini, with early low-mileage examples commanding significant premiums. The 2011 Lamborghini Aventador LP700-4 erupts onto the scene with a deafening roar. Its 6.5-liter V12 pumping out 700 horsepower through a lightning-fast single-clutch transmission that snaps off gear changes with brutal efficiency. This fifth chapter in Lamborghini's speed evolution represents a quantum leap forward, combining a revolutionary carbon fiber monocoque chassis with all-wheel drive traction to hit 217 miles per hour while still being surprisingly livable day-to-day. The moment you press the start button and that V12 behind your head barks to life, you know this is something special. The engine note deeper and more menacing than the Murcielago's, the idle shaking the entire car like a caged animal. Slide into the cockpit, now easier thanks to wider door openings, and you're greeted by a fighter jet-inspired interior with a digital instrument cluster that performs a dramatic sweep when activated, like something from a sci-fi movie. What makes the Aventador groundbreaking in our speed comparison isn't just its 2.9 second 0 to 60 miles per hour time. It's how it delivers that performance with unprecedented refinement. The magnetic suspension soaks up bumps that would have rattled your spine in earlier models. The steering is precise without being overly heavy, and the optional front lift system means you won't scrape the nose on every driveway. On the road, the Aventador feels monstrously fast, but surprisingly manageable. The all-wheel drive system provides near unshakable grip, the massive carbon ceramic brakes inspire confidence, and the visibility is almost good by Lamborghini standards. The real magic happens when you select Corsa mode and open the exhaust valves. The V12's roar transforms from a deep growl to an apocalyptic shriek as the tachometer sweeps toward its 8,500 RPM redline, the acceleration pinning you to the seat with relentless force. Unlike turbocharged competitors, the Aventador's naturally aspirated engine delivers instantaneous throttle response, no lag, just pure mechanical fury that builds linearly to its power peak. The Aventador's construction showcases Lamborghini's mastery of carbon fiber. The monocoque weighs just 324 pounds, yet offers incredible rigidity, while the body panels use advanced composites to keep weight down. What's often overlooked is how the Aventador bridged the gap between analog thrills and digital precision. It retained hydraulic steering and a visceral driving experience, while incorporating modern tech like magnetorheological dampers and a sophisticated stability control system. On track, the Aventador reveals its true character. The all-wheel drive system allows astonishing corner exit speeds. The massive rear wing generates real downforce at speed, and the brakes resist fade even during extended punishment. The single-clutch transmission, often criticized when new for being jerky in traffic, comes into its own at full throttle. The violent upshifts feel like being rear-ended by a truck, adding to the drama. As the first all-new V12 Lamborghini in over a decade, the Aventador had big shoes to fill, and it did so while establishing a new design language that would influence every model that followed. Today, as the Aventador enters its final production years, its place in Lamborghini's speed evolution is secure. It took the brand's signature drama and paired it with genuine technological sophistication, creating a supercar that could thrill on track while still being comfortable enough for cross-country road trips. The Aventador also represents potentially the end of an era. As the last purely naturally aspirated V12 Lamborghini before hybridization takes over, it's already becoming a collector's item, with early low-mileage examples commanding significant premiums. When you step back and compare the Aventador to the Miura that started our journey, the progress is staggering. Nearly twice the power, 50 miles per hour higher top speed, and infinitely more usability. Yet that essential Lamborghini character remains intact. The theatrical styling, the explosive engine note, the sense of occasion every time you drive it. These are qualities no spec sheet can capture, but that define the Lamborghini experience across generations. As we move forward in our speed comparison, the Aventador stands as a high watermark, a machine that took everything Lamborghini had learned over 5 decades and distilled it into the ultimate expression of naturally aspirated V12 performance. The 2014 Lamborghini Huracan LP 610 to 4 storms into our speed evolution, with a howl from its 5.2-liter V10, marking Lamborghini's bold transition from the Gallardo with a technological tour de force that redefined what an entry-level supercar could achieve. This 6th chapter in our comparison showcases how Lamborghini democratized blistering performance, packing 602 horsepower into a more compact, all-wheel drive package that could hit 202 miles per hour while costing significantly less than the Aventador. The moment you thumb the red start button on the steering wheel, now a Lamborghini signature, the Huracan's V10 erupts with a metallic snarl that's sharper and more urgent than the Aventador's V12. Its higher revving character immediately apparent as the digital tachometer dances to life. Slide into the cockpit and you're greeted by the most sophisticated Lamborghini interior yet, a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster replacing traditional gauges, real aluminum switches that click with precision, and actual storage spaces that make the Huracan shockingly practical by supercar standards. What makes the Huracan revolutionary in our speed comparison isn't just its 3.2 second 0 to 60 miles per hour time. It's how effortlessly that performance is accessible thanks to the brilliant dual-clutch transmission that finally banished the single clutch's rough edges. The Huracan's secret weapon is its chassis. The hybrid aluminum/carbon fiber structure weighs just 355 pounds, yet offers incredible stiffness, while the standard magneto-rheological suspension provides both track-ready handling and surprising ride comfort. On winding roads, the Huracan feels more nimble than its big brother, the shorter wheelbase and lighter weight making direction changes instantaneous, the all-wheel drive system subtly adjusting power distribution to keep you planted. The steering, now electro-hydraulic rather than purely hydraulic, loses some feedback but gains precision, allowing you to place the car with millimeter accuracy. When you select Sport or Corsa mode, the Huracan transforms. The exhaust valves open to unleash a savage howl. The transmission holds gears to the 8,500 RPM redline, and the stability control relaxes just enough to let you play while still keeping things safe. The Huracan's braking performance is particularly staggering. The standard carbon ceramics can haul it down from 62 miles per hour in just 101 feet, with a pedal feel so immediate it feels like the car reads your mind. What's often overlooked about the Huracan is how it brought Lamborghini performance to a new generation. The more approachable price tag, relatively speaking, and daily drivability expanding the brand's appeal without diluting its exotic character. On track, the Huracan shines brightest. The combination of instant V10 power, tenacious all-wheel drive grip, and balanced chassis making it significantly faster around most circuits than the heavier Aventador. The Huracan also represents Lamborghini's first serious foray into digital integration. The optional Anima driving mode system, adaptive network intelligent management, constantly adapts to your driving style, while the telemetry system can record your lap times and performance data. As values for early Huracan stabilize on the used market, collectors are recognizing its significance as the model that perfected the junior supercar formula, offering 90% of an Aventador's performance at 60% of the price, with none of the compromises that typically entailed. The Huracan's place in Lamborghini's speed evolution becomes even more impressive when you consider its racing pedigree. The Huracan GT3 and Super Trofeo variants dominating sports car racing worldwide, proving the road car's fundamental excellence. When compared to the Gallardo it replaced, the progress is staggering, nearly 100 more horsepower, a second quicker to 60 miles per hour, and light years ahead in terms of technology and refinement. Yet that essential Lamborghini drama remains intact. The angular styling that looks fast standing still, the explosive acceleration that pins you back in the seat, and the theater of driving something that still turns every head on the road. As we look ahead in our speed comparison, the Huracan stands as a testament to how Lamborghini learned to balance mass appeal with uncompromising performance, creating a car that could be someone's first supercar while still satisfying seasoned enthusiasts. The Huracan's ongoing evolution, through Performante, EVO, and STO variants, shows how Lamborghini continues to push the boundaries of what's possible, each iteration extracting more performance while retaining the core character that made the original so revolutionary. The 2019 Lamborghini Aventador SVJ roars into our speed evolution with a ferocity that redefines expectations for production car performance. Its 6.5-liter V12 now tuned to a staggering 759 horsepower, enough to claim the Nürburgring production car lap record with a blistering 6 minutes and 44.97 seconds time. This seventh chapter in our comparison represents the ultimate evolution of Lamborghini's naturally aspirated V12 heritage, combining cutting-edge aerodynamics with track-honed precision to create a machine that dominates both straight-line speed, 217 miles per hour top speed, and circuit performance. The moment you fire up the SVJ Super Veloce Hoda, the difference from standard Aventadors is immediately apparent. The exhaust note is more savage, the idle more aggressive, and the digital display flashes SVJ in blood-red letters, as if warning you of the violence to come. Slide into the carbon fiber racing seats, optional in ultra-lightweight Lexan for track use, and you're surrounded by Alcantara and bare carbon fiber. The interior stripped of unnecessary comforts to save every possible gram. What makes the SVJ special in our speed comparison isn't just its 2.8-second 0 to 60 miles per hour time. It's how Lamborghini's ALA, Aerodynamica Lamborghini Attiva, active aerodynamic system transforms the driving experience. At speed, the system can instantly redirect airflow to either increase downforce by 40% or reduce drag by 1%, making the SVJ simultaneously more stable in corners and faster on straights than physics should allow. On canyon roads, the SVJ feels telepathic, the four-wheel steering system, a first for Aventador, making it surprisingly nimble despite its size, while the magnetorheological suspension maintains perfect body control over uneven surfaces. The V12's power delivery is brutally linear, building from a deep-chested growl at low revs to an earth-shaking scream at the 8,500 RPM redline. The 7-speed ISR transmission firing off upshifts with rifle-shot intensity. The SVJ's braking performance is equally mind-bending. The standard carbon ceramics can withstand repeated 1.5 G stops from triple-digit speeds without fading. The calipers painted in eye-catching gold to highlight their track-ready capability. What truly sets the SVJ apart is its dual personality. It's docile enough for daily driving, with the front lift system engaged, yet transforms into an absolute weapon at the track with just a few taps of the anima selector. On circuit, the SVJ's capabilities become supernatural. The ALA system working invisibly to balance the car through high-speed corners, the rear-wheel steering making it rotate with unexpected agility, and the Pirelli Trofeo are tires offering tenacious grip that makes you question physics. The SVJ's limited production run, just 900 units, and status as the last purely internal combustion Aventador variant before hybridization have already made it a collector's darling, with values appreciating significantly since launch. Modern restorers have discovered fascinating details about the SVJ's construction. The hollow anti-roll bars that save crucial weight, the active exhaust valves that can open independently for perfect back pressure at any RPM, and the magnesium wheels that are lighter than anything offered by competitors. As we analyze its place in Lamborghini's speed evolution, the SVJ represents the absolute pinnacle of naturally aspirated V12 development, a fitting swan song for an era before electrification changed everything. When compared to the original Aventador that opened this chapter, the progress is staggering. Nearly 60 more horsepower, significantly better aerodynamics, and advanced systems that make its extreme performance accessible to more drivers. Yet that essential Lamborghini drama remains uncompromised. The SVJ looks even more aggressive than standard models, with its massive rear wing and hexagonal exhaust tips, sounds apocalyptic when pushed, and delivers an emotional driving experience no spec sheet can fully capture. As we look toward Lamborghini's hybrid future in our speed comparison, the Aventador SVJ stands as a monument to what's possible when engineers are given free rein to extract every last drop of performance from internal combustion, a machine that will be remembered as one of the greatest supercars of its generation. The 2022 Lamborghini Sian FKP37 bursts into our speed evolution with a thunderous hybrid roar. Its 6.5-liter V12 now augmented by supercapacitor-powered electric motors for a combined 819 horsepower, marking Lamborghini's first foray into hybridization while maintaining the visceral thrill that defines the brand. This 8th chapter in our comparison represents a revolutionary step forward, blending cutting-edge technology with traditional Lamborghini drama to create a hypercar that can hit 217 miles per hour while offering instantaneous electric torque fill. The moment you press the start button, the Sian delivers a sensory overload. The V12 erupts with its characteristic bellow, while the hybrid system performs a dramatic light show across the dashboard. The digital display flashing Sian in glowing emerald green, a nod to the car's hybrid nature. Drop into the cockpit and you're surrounded by the most exquisite materials yet. Hand-stitched leather with contrast green piping, forged carbon fiber trim that looks like frozen lightning, and aluminum switches that operate with jewel-like precision. What makes the Sian groundbreaking in our speed comparison isn't just its 2.8-second 0 to 60 miles per hour time. It's how Lamborghini's innovative supercapacitor system, weighing just 34 kilograms compared to conventional lithium-ion batteries, delivers instantaneous power bursts without the weight penalty of traditional hybrids. The electric motor provides immediate low-end shove to compensate for the V12's natural aspiration lag, then seamlessly hands off to the screaming 6.5-liter engine as revs climb, creating acceleration so linear and violent it feels like being catapulted by an aircraft carrier. On winding roads, the Sion feels simultaneously more responsive and more planted than any previous Lamborghini. The four-wheel steering system giving it supernatural agility at low speeds, while the active aerodynamics, including the dramatic aero canal that channels air through the rear deck, keep it glued to the pavement at triple-digit velocities. The hybrid system's regenerative braking takes getting used to. The initial pedal travel feels slightly numb before the massive carbon ceramics bite with authority, but provides perfect speed modulation once mastered. The Sion's party trick is its Corsa-tuned exhaust system. At full throttle, the V12 scream combines with an almost spaceship-like electric whine to create a soundtrack unlike anything else on the road, the pitch rising to an apocalyptic crescendo as the tachometer kisses the 8,500 RPM redline. Limited to just 63 units, plus 19 roadsters, each Sion was customized through Lamborghini's Ad Personam program, with buyers spending months working directly with designers to create their perfect specification, resulting in cars that range from subtle matte grays to retina-searing metallic greens. On track, the Sion reveals its true genius. The hybrid system's instant torque fills in the V12's minimal low-end weakness, allowing earlier corner exits, while the weight distribution, maintained at a perfect 43 to 57 front/rear despite the hybrid components, makes it more balanced than the Aventador SVJ. The Sion's construction showcases Lamborghini's mastery of lightweight materials. The carbon fiber monocoque is stiffer yet lighter than the Aventador's. The body panels use patented forged carbon composites, and even the glass is thinner to save weight without compromising safety. As the first hybrid Lamborghini and last purely V12-powered hypercar before the Revuelto's plug-in hybrid system, the Sion occupies a unique place in the brand's history. Too exclusive to be a testbed, but too advanced to be a pure analog machine. When compared to the SVJ in our speed evolution, the progress is revelatory. The hybrid system adds just 34 kilograms, but provides the equivalent of 200 additional horsepower during acceleration, while advanced aerodynamics increase downforce without adding drag. Yet remarkably, the Sion still feels unmistakably mechanical. The steering remains hydraulically assisted for maximum feedback. The suspension uses physical anti-roll bars rather than electronic trickery. And that glorious V12 dominates the experience rather than playing second fiddle to the electric components. As values for the Sion continue climbing past the $4 million mark on the secondary market, its significance as a technological showcase and collector's item grows ever clearer. A bridge between Lamborghini's combustion past and electric future that managed to please purists and innovators alike. In our speed comparison journey, the Sion represents both an ending and a beginning, the final evolution of Lamborghini's naturally aspirated V12 architecture, but also the first glimpse of how hybridization could enhance rather than dilute the brand's signature driving experience. When future historians look back at Lamborghini's evolution, the Sion will stand as proof that electrification and emotion could coexist, provided it was done the Lamborghini way. The 2023 Lamborghini Revuelto explodes into our speed evolution as the most technologically advanced Lamborghini ever created. Its all-new 6.5-liter V12 now paired with 3 electric motors to produce a staggering 1,001 combined horsepower. The first production Lamborghini to break the 4-digit power barrier. This 9th chapter in our comparison represents a paradigm shift for the brand, combining a plug-in hybrid system with a revolutionary new architecture that maintains Lamborghini's signature drama while embracing electrification. The moment you awaken the Revuelto, there's a brief, eerie silence before the V12 roars to life with a deeper, more resonant timbre than its predecessors. The digital instrument cluster performing a dramatic light sequence that ends with 1001 CV, glowing ominously in the center display. The cockpit surrounds you with a perfect marriage of cutting-edge technology and Italian craftsmanship. A configurable 12.3-inch digital dash flows seamlessly into a 8.4-inch vertical touchscreen, while the center console features real aluminum switches shaped like aircraft throttles. What makes the Revuelto revolutionary in our speed comparison isn't just its 2.5-second 0 to 60 miles per hour time or 217 plus mph top speed. It's how Lamborghini has reimagined every system from the ground up to create a hybrid that feels more alive than any predecessor. The new 8-speed dual-clutch transmission, mounted transversely behind the engine for perfect weight distribution, shifts with telepathic speed, while the torque vectoring electric front axle provides supernatural cornering precision. On the road, the Revuelto delivers a Jekyll and Hyde personality in full electric mode. Now offering 6 miles of emissions-free range, it glides through city streets with unexpected civility. The front motors providing silent torque for parking maneuvers. But engage launch control and all 4 powertrain elements work in concert to deliver acceleration, so violent it triggers genuine adrenaline responses. The V12 screaming behind your head while the electric motors fill in every torque gap, creating a seamless wave of thrust that pins you to the seat all the way to redline. The Revuelto's aerodynamics represent Lamborghini's most advanced implementation yet. The active rear wing adjusts through multiple positions, the front splitter automatically extends at speed, and the aerodynamica Lamborghini Attiva 3.0 system continuously optimizes airflow for maximum downforce or minimum drag. What's most surprising is how light the Revuelto feels despite its hybrid components. The new carbon fiber monofuselage chassis is 10% lighter than the Aventador's while being 25% stiffer, and the clever packaging of the 3.8 kilowatt-hour battery, mounted in the transmission tunnel, preserves perfect weight distribution. On track, the Revuelto's capabilities border on surreal. The combined mechanical and electric all-wheel drive system provides unbelievable traction out of corners. The rear-wheel steering makes it dance through chicanes like a smaller car, and the carbon ceramic brakes, now with brake-by-wire precision, offer stopping power that defies physics. The hybrid system's true genius reveals itself when exiting slow corners. The instant torque from the front motors eliminates any hesitation before the V12 comes on cam, creating acceleration out of tight turns that humbles even the quickest pure combustion supercars. The Revuelto's sound profile represents a fascinating evolution. At low speeds in hybrid mode, you hear the electric motor's spaceship-like whine mixing with the V12's basso profundo, creating an entirely new kind of hybrid symphony. At full throttle, the new exhaust system, with active valves that open progressively, allows the V12 to dominate with a richer, more complex timbre than the Aventador's, reaching an earth-shaking crescendo at the 9,500 RPM redline, the highest revving production V12 Lamborghini has ever built. As the first clean-sheet Lamborghini design in over a decade, the Revuelto establishes a new design language while paying homage to its predecessors. The Y-shaped lighting elements echo the Scion, the hexagonal exhaust tips reference the Countach, and the dramatic rear air intakes evolve the Aventador's styling cues. Limited only by production capacity rather than artificial numbers, the Revuelto nonetheless maintains exclusivity through its 7-figure price tag and extensive customization options through Lamborghini's Ad Personam program. In our speed evolution comparison, the Revuelto represents both the culmination of Lamborghini's 60-year V12 heritage and the exciting beginning of its electrified future, proof that hybridization, when implemented with Lamborghini's signature passion for performance, can enhance rather than diminish the supercar experience. As we look toward Lamborghini's all-electric future, the Revuelto stands as a glorious testament to what's possible when tradition and innovation collide at the highest levels of automotive engineering. A machine that honors its ancestors while boldly rewriting the rules of what a hybrid hypercar can be.